everyone. Welcome. If you haven't yet, you should take one of these so you can hear me better. So make sure you have one of these on your seat and you can hear everyone talk. I'll just wait a minute until everyone has one. Wonderful. Great. I have some thumbs up, so I think you can hear me. Good morning. How's everyone doing? I see some coffees. I see some smiles. Good. Thumbs up. Welcome to Change Now. Is this your first session or second? No? Second. Great. For some, it's the first. Fantastic. Well, my name is Ines Yavad, and I'll be your moderator today. I'm really excited to have you as we talk about going beyond borders, advancing rights and opportunities for migrants and refugees. Together, we will explore the realities of migration and displacement, highlighting the importance of preserving identity and heritage. Borders may divide, but they also enable cultural exchange and growth. I personally have had the opportunity to benefit from that migration. I grew up in Peru, that's where I'm from a multicultural family. And I've been able to work around the world to see countries that are different than my own, while discovering a little about myself. But I've also seen how migration can sometimes not be a choice. In my own family, my great-grandmother had to leave her town because of religious differences, and she wasn't being sold any food or given any health care. This meant forced migration for her. My uncle was forced to flee the country after having to choose between staying and dying or leaving and living. In Lebanon, I've worked with refugees that when they arrived from other countries had to only work in the trash recycling or collecting. They were not allowed to work in anything else. So this issue is deeply personal to me. But I also want to know about you. Can you raise your hand if you are a migrant or a refugee? Okay, I see. Keep your hands raised. Now, raise your hand if you know someone who is a migrant or a refugee. More hands raised. Okay. And now, if you're not from any of the categories before, raise your hand if you're interested to know more about migrants and refugees. Great. So we have a mix of people in the room, which is fantastic. I love that I can hear from you, so please keep interacting when I ask any questions. Today, our speakers will uncover how migrants and refugees navigate safety, integration, and the challenge of staying true to their roots. Amid rising political barriers and challenges to humanitarian efforts, this event amplifies the voices of those affected and the changemakers that are supporting them. We'll have artists, advocates, and entrepreneurs that will share how they are transforming migration and displacement into stories of resilience, empowerment, and cultural richness. To kick us off, we'll have Zara Brun, founder and CEO of Social Bee. Zara empowers refugees and migrants through technical, intercultural training, fostering inclusive employment opportunities. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it today, so she has sent us a video that we will cue now.
Hello, changemakers. I'm so sorry that I can't be here today with you. I would have loved to come, however, due to health reasons, I couldn't travel. Yet, I want to leave you some words and some thoughts at this wonderful conference where I've always wanted to speak. It's an honor to say a few words here at the Change Now, because it's a conference that truly lives up to its name. Because change is now. And for millions of refugees and migrants around the world, change can't wait. My name is Zara, I'm a social entrepreneur, and for the last 10 years, my team and I have relentlessly worked to integrate thousands of refugees in the labor market. Because the refugees and migrants that are arriving in Europe, they are full of skills, experience and drive, yet they're stuck by language, by bureaucracy. They can't get to work, they face racism, prejudices, and they have a really tough time to integrate, to build a new life. So we at Social Bee, my NGO, we're on a mission to make integration easy, but for the companies. Because that's the clue. They struggle to find talents with a bureaucracy, and if they found someone integrated, employed them, the real work begins in the first year of employment. So that's what we're taking over. We find talents, no search, no bureaucracy. We support, we employ the refugees, place them at the partner companies, they pay us a fee, and we support 1 year after employment. With qualification programs, with empowerment programs, with daily support, questions, how to get their families back, mental support, everything that, the whole glue that makes that employment relationship work. But the mission behind that is that we reduce the efforts for the companies, so suddenly they don't perceive hiring refugees and migrants as a burden, but they see the benefit. Because when social business meet these talents full of skills, something powerful happens. Companies, they don't face labor shortage. Talents gain hope, and society gains everything. Let me tell you about Amina. She fled war, she crossed seas, and landed in a place where she was only seen as a refugee. But she's a mother, she's an engineer, she's a fighter, and through our programs, she found a job and a future. And now she leads a team of 10 and mentors other refugees like her. But she's one of thousands. But here's the truth. She almost didn't make it. Because our systems, they are not built to catch people like Amina, to catch women at all. Refugee women are the most untapped economic force in our society. Thousands of qualified, educated, motivated women that we meet every day. Our talent pool is full of them. They are working below their potential. They write 200, 300 applications, only get turned down. Nobody gives them a chance. And then the hope is slowly reducing. And they tell us, my only perspective is to be a cleanser or have nothing at all. Maybe, hopefully, my children will have a better time. But how much potential are we wasting as a society? It's not just a waste of talents, it's a failure of imagination as a society. So, that's what we are changing. We want to place and integrate all these talents and have a great social impact and economic impact, because that's also saving the state millions of euros. But on the other hand side, our work is also trying to make a difference when it comes to public narratives. Because we are living in a time where migration has become the question of democracy itself. In Germany, we see the AfD rising, populism everywhere. In Europe, in the US, across the globe, the far right is gaining ground, and that's scary. Because what's their answer? Fear, division, closed borders. But we, every one of you, of social entrepreneurs, maybe you work in the field of migration, maybe you and we all have other answers. We have seen what works. We have built the blueprints. 1,000 ref integrations is not enough. We need 10,000, we need 100,000, and we can make it up to millions if we unite. Because small scale won't save us anymore. We cannot afford to have double infrastructures. Basically, to recruit the same talents in every NGO, talk to the same companies. You know, the resources are getting tight. And if we have parallel infrastructures, we all stay small. We all stay fragmented, and nobody is a relevant part or piece of the solutions. It's time for us as social entrepreneurs, as innovators, believers to finally unite, to build an international alliance for integration. The same way governments build systems for deportation and registration, we must build systems for opportunity, for mobility and inclusion. Because imagine, if we can build a system to track every arrival, why can we not build a system to track every success? What if we pool our resources, our voices across Europe and beyond? Let's dream big again. Let's build moonshots, not micro projects. Let's become louder and more relevant than hate. Because relevance is key, scale is key. When public funding shrinks, small initiatives shrink first. The big, bold collaborations, they survive. They shape policies, they move markets, they dominate narratives. So here's my call. Let us, the social entrepreneurs of Europe and beyond, join forces. Let's combine our budgets, our platforms, our teams. Let's act like a one big infrastructure, alliance growth startup. Let's build something that lasts across borders, across systems. Because you know the truth. We have the solutions. We just need to make them big. So we have the chance to turn flight into freedom, displacement into dignity, and borders into bridges. Let's make something out of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, you may clap. So Zara was saying this is an untapped opportunity, not just for refugees and migrants, but for all of us. And here we're going to have on stage 3 people that are either refugees or migrants, or they're working with this demographic, and they can share a bit more about these powerful stories and the mediums that they use. First on stage, this person is renowned for his emotive charcoal murals, inspired by the stories of refugees. He's a visual artist, an architect, a scenographer, and a musician based right here in Paris. His work provides a space for refugees to honor their past and share their journey, highlighting the resilience and cultural identities that they carry into their new lives. Please welcome onto the stage, Stefan Zimmerli. Next, please go ahead. We have a founder of a digital platform that maps and celebrates refugees' cultural identities, enabling them to stay connected to their heritage into their new communities. With roots from Sicily in the highlands and a journey that has taken her to Chile and to a war zone, our very own winner from the pitch inclusion at Change Now last year, please welcome the founder of Geo Identity, Giorgia Malandrino. And finally, coming on the stage, we have a Burundian refugee who stepped up at the Mahama refugee camp in Rwanda and later founded Save the Refugee Youth. He is now studying in Sciences Po in Paris, straight from taking an exam. Coming onto the stage, please welcome Gabriel Karen Gabo. Welcome to all 3 of you. It's great to have you with us. And Gabriel, since I introduced you last, let me start with a question to you first. I want to hear a bit more about your story. And I think you can hear us through the mics. If you don't want to use that, it's fine too. You went from Burundi to Rwanda. And I want to know, how did you navigate your safety, the integration, and the challenge of staying true to your roots in this new environment? Over to you.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'm very happy just to see you here. And also happy to be on this stage. And happy to answer to the questions being asked. Yeah, so sitting here, I'm a Burundian refugee who fled to Rwanda. And from 2015, from the 1st May, I have been forced to flee my country of Burundi, of course. And it's where I saw that my dream is changing, and it has been changed forever. the dream that I have before have changed forever. So I was a second year biology student at National University of Burundi. Where the government has taken decision to close the university following the massive protests against the third term election of the president who was ruling 2015. So I, as a student who were at National University, within the protest, we were not kindly protesting, but we were just trying to save the people, the civilians who were being hit by the police. From that time, we have been made targets, and over 100 students from the National University of Burundi have been targeted and marked by the police and the government. Just wherever they will be within the country, whoever will find them, we'll just report them. And in case, it will be a death for them. So we found that there is no other way to rescue. So we have taken our way to US Embassy in Bujumbura, of course. But they didn't allow us to enter the US Embassy, and they haven't even granted us the asylum. So we have been kept outside. So, and we're also facing the insecurity, we're being hit by the police. And yeah, so among the 100 students, so I have taken a very hard decision that I never thought in my life, which is to flee my country. So it was on 2nd May, in the night of the 2nd May, so I had then to go and the only way was to go through my province, my town, and from the town I had just to flee to Rwanda because it is close to Rwanda. So it was not easy. I just I went there, and from 2nd May I was there, 3rd May until 7. But the militia of the government were coming just to see if they can seize me, and they didn't because I was hiding and hiding. And after what happened, I had to go to Rwanda, and when they come and didn't find me, they killed my father in my place. And yeah, so I was in Rwanda then, 7 May, and I was transferred to the huge camp in Rwanda, which is Mahama camp, which is in Rwanda. And I was there at 8th of May. So the life there was not easy. I had also to start a new life. There was no shelter, there was no food, no water, and yeah, everyone was helpless. And I was seeing everyone, you couldn't even talk to anyone because everyone it was a mess. And when starting a camp, there is what we call registration procedures, whatever. So those kind of registration was very hard because people were fighting, and I took initiative because I saw nothing will be done. They had to be registered, and after the registration, they had to go to the food distribution. After food distribution, healthcare, we need to go to hospital for those who are having some kind of trauma. So it was something that dangerous. So I had the initiative to organize the youth. I put them together. I told them that they have to help others to fasten the registration, to put others to the line, and then fastening the registration. And after I had to go to the food distribution center just to help others who were fighting to be able just to get the food very easily. So I had also to organize some of the youth there to be able to fasten also the distribution. And then I had to go to the health center also. So at the health center, it was also chaos because kids were already taken by the malnutrition, so they had to be cared. So, using my biology skills, so I secured a position of being a nutrition assistant, and I have been able just to help those kids who were kindly being in severe malnutrition. So by the time, you can imagine what was the chaos there. I was being paid 18,000 Rwandan francs, around 7 or 8 USD. So, but the people that were coming from the host community, whom were having the same role, they were being paid 300,000 Rwandan francs, around 250 USD. So you understand it was not easy. And sitting with them, I was kindly hopeless because I saw 18,000 Rwandan francs. It was kindly a mess. So the integration was very difficult, but I had to survive because I had in my mind that I am helping my fellow refugees. So I continued to work. And I was also, I have been happy when I saw my fellow, the kids starting the schools. The school were being opened in the camp, so which was good. I mean, primary school and secondary school. But after that, because there were many students who left their university studies, so I had also that kind of problem in mind. When am I going to start my university studies? It was not easy that case, but I kept very strong because I knew that time I was on that time, but another time will come and I will have to shine. And I had, because I was somehow who is able just to speak, I started advocating for the refugee youth who have lost their studies, and a charity which is called the Maison Shalom International has come in the camp and has picked around 400 students to university. It was 2016 and I was among them. I was very happy. I graduated 2020 before the outbreak of the COVID-19. So I was very happy, and I told you my dream was changed forever from biology to IT. Even today, I'm not an IT. I'm pursuing my studies as science, human rights, and humanitarian action. So things have been changing, so you understand. So this is my story, and it was also good to navigate through or staying to my roots. I have been able to found a drama space where people had to go and watch drumming, things like in my Burundian culture. And also I've been able to teach the kids on how they can keep singing our national anthem of Burundi. So it was really funny, and also the community were very happy. So this is how I have been able to settle in the camp and navigate what was happening and being resilient to what was happening to me and to all of my fellow refugees. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you so much. I think it's very important to hear from your real, raw story and how you stayed resilient through it all, right? And you said your dream changed, but you still kept dreaming, and I think that's very important. Georgia, I want to come to you. I want to know what sparked your desire to work for a world beyond borders?
Thank you, Ines, for the question. So I guess at many people here, at one point in my life, I felt the feeling to do something different for the world I belong to. I wanted to be aware about what's going on around me, with people, with the environment. And as a response to this feeling, I took a plane crossing many countries, living in a war zone, working with young refugees, stateless, to observe how geography has the power to draw and define our bodies and our lives. A reality that I wanted to share not just through my voice, but through their voices. So I started to record these echoes of voices around the world, of refugees, that they reveal the real power of geographical boundaries, how those lines on the map can become gigantic, invisible walls that erase identity, as you were able to listen. And these voices, I remember one specific telling me, I was studying biomedical engineer, my family house was bombed 3 times. Oh my gosh, I will never get the opportunity to finish my studies. And I believe these voices made even more clear the question that then guided the entire Geoidentity, my project, Geoidentity process. How do you survive in a world of verification without being able to prove who you are? And I've started to look for answer not anymore in human systems, based on hegemony, based on power and sovereignty. I needed to look for different systems where interconnection means universality and where cooperation is law for survival. And you can only find this system in nature. So that's why then my shift into the Department of Science and the department to look for how nature works and how we can learn from nature. Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia. And we'll be coming back to you on exactly what it is that you're doing with Geoidentity.
Sure.
But Stefan, let me turn to you. You have a personal story related to exile too. Can you tell us a little bit more about how your family transported their country beyond borders when they moved?
Yes, I was born in Paris, but from a family with very far away roots. Actually, half of my family comes from Switzerland and Norway, so relatively stable countries. And I think on one side, my father immigrated because it was a bit too stable. He needed some life and action. And on the other side, my mother came from Vietnam, from Saigon in the 60s, in a time of continuous war. And she knew she had no future as a woman wanting to become a doctor in Vietnam, so she had to migrate to study. The rest of my family in Vietnam, though, stayed there and actually eventually had to go into exile very brutally on the very final days of the Vietnam War. They didn't decide to go. So in my family, I have these very different kind of reasons to move, no? But what I found consistently, since I'm a child, I've been obsessed with reminiscence and memory, and how we carry the places we live in and the places we love with us all our lives, and how they continue to live inside us, even though we are, thousands of kilometers away. So the focus, and that's why I'm working since 20 years on this, is with the split memories. So people who have been forced to abandon their places, their loved ones and their loved places and all the atmospheres that make up, the background of life, some of them will probably never see it again. Like we have a story with a place in Saigon that my family has always referred to very mysteriously. In my family, there's not a lot of talk about memory, past and everything. It's more like a blank slate, let's start over anew. But as children, as second generations, we grow up with this absence. We know something has happened, we know these places have been the theater of something, but we don't know what. And that black hole for me has been the reason also for my whole artistic endeavor, and that's why I do it with other people also.
Let's talk a bit more about your artistic endeavor. And I've had a front row seat to actually seeing you in action, sketching in your notebook already. And as an artist, you're always looking for ways to materialize thoughts, memories, and invisible things. How do you help people reinvent memories and relive them in the present?
So I've recently found, also more or less since the COVID lockdown times, I was starting a project drawing people's mental images. So through Skype, we were all isolated, and I had this idea. Okay, people can call me up and tell me a place where they want to escape, and I will draw it with the webcam, and we'll see if that mental game helps us to escape, because physically we are stuck somewhere, but mentally we are always free to travel. And I found live drawing. So I'm drawing at the same time as the person is speaking. So it needs training. You need to be a very fast sketcher to materialize the ideas as they flow. And I've done this, and I found with people who are exiled people, it was very powerful and meaningful, because they were telling me, oh, if I could escape my lockdown apartment in Montreal, I would go back to the beach of Beirut, which I left 15 years ago, and I've never seen it again. And as I drew it, they transport themselves mentally there. I think it's a kind of almost magical kind of moment happening when you draw somebody else's mind. Both of your brains become connected in a very strange way. It's almost like one brain trying to revive images. And so my focus as an artist is to bring them to the edge of what they remember, where everybody has a limit, things we wish we would remember, but it's too far away. And I prove them through drawing that they remember things that they think they have forgotten. Because by drawing, we manage to reconstitute, reinvent pieces of the past, and that's the most powerful and meaningful moment for me when I see somebody recreating their loved place from their country that they have fled and probably will never see again, but they still have it in their mind. So they have lost the physical space, but the mental place they still own, and they own to this day, and they still can walk through it mentally.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And you mentioned the beach in Beirut. I used to live in Beirut, and it's a beautiful place. So for those who haven't been, I recommend it. Gabriel, let's come back to you. Beyond your own personal story, you're also working to support other personal stories and other refugees. I was recently talking to my uncle who works with refugees in the UK with an organization called Facework. And he was saying that while governments spend millions on housing, there's not that many programs who help in training or helping people to actually get to the next stage. They're just like supported to be there as opposed to do something. So I wanted to hear more about Save the Refugee Youth and how you're helping people become self-reliant.
Thank you for the question. I can start by just saying today the organizations do mistake by thinking that refugees are only those people who need aid, and they don't think that refugees can also do whatever for the self-reliance. And they are falling into trap because when, for example, the fund stops, like, the aid, for example, the USAID aid was cut off, and the people actually, those organizations are sending their workers, the jobs are finishing, and the main activities that were being done for refugees are being stopped. So where those people who are demanding aid without doing anything, where will they go? That's the problem. That is just demanding aid for them isn't a sustainable solution, but it's an immediate solution. So, but we could think about sustainable solution then to be able just to empower the refugee. Actually, my organization, Save the Refugee Youth, is empowering the refugee youth, but also they could even empower the entire community of the refugees, just to either to train them, providing entrepreneurial skills, just to be able to settle and create jobs by themselves, not relying on applying for jobs that are not available, but can be able just to employ themselves and employ others, hence improve community livelihoods. So now coming to Save the Refugee Youth, being in the camp, I saw thousands of youth who were desperate. They they were being attracted by traumas, substance abuse, early pregnancies and desired pregnancies, things like that. It was a problem and they were helpless. So, a year, 800 students are graduated from secondary school, and only by the advocacy we made, only 100 or around 80 students are only able to go to higher education. Imagine where others go. So it's a chaos, and I was saying that it would be better if we can trace the route for those who don't even get the opportunity to go to higher education while they want it, and see whether we can help them being resilient. And I have been able just to start the Save the Refugee Youth to empower them by advocating for scholarships for them, by training them to be able to start their own business, and we pair to them with mentors, and we also pair to them with institutions that can provide finance just to be able to help them navigate to start their own businesses. So this is what we are doing. Actually, we've Saved the Refugee Youth. With the few minutes that I have, I can't tell everything, but that is all that we can do.
Of course, and people can come up to you at the end and ask more questions, I'm sure, and look you up online. I know this work has also been recognized by UNHCR, and you've been working with them. So thank you for all that you're doing, even beyond your own journey, to help other people. And Georgia, you're doing exactly the same. You're helping other people, and you mentioned this sentence before. How can displaced people survive in a world of verification without being able to prove who they are? And how does your identity help bridge that gap to allow people to access basic rights such as education?
So today, 1.5 million people around the world have no means to prove their identity. And over 180 million worldwide were forcibly displaced because of wars, political religious persecutions, climate change, losing access to vital personal documents such as graduated or present student certificates. So the loss of physical academic certificates once people move from one country to another one, as well as their titles not being recognized because of the inconsistency of validation processes between countries, make it extremely difficult for people to validate and to start a new life. But if you think about it, in the past, we invented a universal standardized document, the passport, to travel around the world easily. Imagine now if every country will request you a different document and a different process to access the country. Who will travel more? That would be very impossible. This is exactly what happened when we need to cross another geographical border, the study and job validation one. That's what Identity aims to do for education access, what the passport did for traveling, introducing a universal standardized passport system to validate your studies introducing an academic passport to protect your identity. So the new digital passport contains not only your personal data, but also your academic data as a unique part of our identity. Data are logged and validated through a blockchain platform, allowing students to provide their data to any host universities in the world. So like it works in nature, where all elements are interconnected within a system and they cooperate for survival, Identity aims to do the same. They connect all universities, all institutions, all students in the same standardized process to protect the right to learn and the right to belong. So this is the aim. So restore connection where it has been broken because of political borders. Thank you.
Thank you so much for all the work you're doing too. And I know we're almost out of time, but I do want to come to you all with one last question in one sentence. In today's world with so much mobility, both chosen and imposed, how would you encourage those of us here today to maintain that cultural richness and help preserve identity and heritage? Maybe I'll come to you first.
My main answer would be it's a bit like what I do every day. I keep one page a day to stay awake, thinking with the hand and always looking at other humans every hour and every second, instead of being in too much of a virtual world. That helps me to connect, and I advise always my students to do the same.
Thank you. So just always connecting with one other human at least, and using our hands to do so as well. Over to you, Georgia.
I have always had this idea in my mind that thinking about the map, like the continents, and making the metaphor of our body, like where, if you think about it, every cell, every organ has a unique function, like they have their own identity, but they all cooperate for one single mission, the well-being of the entire body. I believe countries should do the same. They have their unique identity, their own function, but they all unite for one single mission, the well-being of the entire ecosystem, which is Mother Earth, and humans are part of this. Thanks.
So looking at nature as well. Gabriel, how about you?
Yeah, on my side, I can say just being a migrant or being a refugee in a country which is not yours, is, as it is not, of course, it's not a problem of the country where you are. So you have to know that your culture is not a problem, and the culture you find there is not a problem, but could be an opportunity. Just what I call multicultural identity. So you can just be able to use the culture, your culture, to integrate it into the new culture, just to be able to keep your hope. Another thing that I can also mention, you can have also the storytelling sessions to your children, to your peers, just to tell them what the story of your ancestors, just to keep them knowing or stay at their roots. Things like that. Thank you.
Thank you, Gabriel, so much. I want to thank you all for sharing so openly. Yes, we can give them a round of applause. And we're going to move to our fireside now, so you can take your seats again and join us. And please do come speak to our speakers at the end of the session to hear more about what they do. Thank you. All right, so we're moving on to our fireside chat. We're coming to recognize Afghanistan's first female breakdancer. I think we lost the sound. Okay, so she represented the refugee Olympic team at the Paris Olympics and made a statement by wearing a burqa sewn with wings that had the words "Free Afghan Women." They were painted on it. This actually led to her disqualification from the Olympics and from her being removed from the refugee Olympic team. Manija Talash, a hero to all of us, welcome to the stage. And let me also introduce Sumaya. She is the co-author of Inside Kabul and Outside Kabul. This is a podcast by France Inter. She is an Afghan entrepreneur with a jewelry company that supports Afghan women artists in Afghanistan. It is called DOR. Afghanistan. She has volunteered her time today as the interpreter for this session. Welcome to the stage. Great. Manija, it's an honor to have you with us. And before we start talking about your journey as a refugee, I want to hear more about your life in Afghanistan and how your love started for breakdance. Was there a moment that sparked that interest in the sport?
بونجور در اول میخوایم تشکری کنم از اینکه مرا به برنامه‌تان دعوت کردین. واقعا باعث افتخارم است و خیلی خوشحال هستم که امروز در بینتان هستم.
Hello everyone, thank you so much for inviting me and I'm very happy to be among all of you.
و دوم معذرت خواهی میکنم از اینکه نمیتونم اونقدر انگلیسی صحبت کنم که بتونم حرف دلم براتون بزنم. امیدوار هستم که براتون خسته کن نباشه.
And on second, I'm so sorry that I'm not able to speak English to really express myself, but I myself, I'll try my best to share her story.
همون قسمه که میفهمین من منیژه تلاش هستم و امروز اینجا هستم که درباره سفری براتون بگویم که نه تنها از مرزهای کشورها عبور کرده بلکه از بین دیوارهایی که برای یک دختر افغان کشیده شده بود هم عبور کرده.
I'm Manisha Talash, and I want to talk about my journey that not only passed my country, but also the barriers that was set for Afghan women like me.
من متولد کابل سال 2002 هستم که تا جایی که یادم میآید دوران کودکیم در سایه جنگ و ترس گذشته و دوران کودکی خیلی سختی داشتم.
I was born in Kabul in 2002, and as far as I can remember, all my life was in shadow of fear and war.
وقت پدرم گم شد کودکی و دوران کودکی هم امراش رفت و مجبور شدم که کار کنم بزرگ شوم و خیلی دوست داشتم که تلاش کنم و یک بازوی قوی برای مادرم باشم کسی که بتونه به او تکیه کنه.
When my father was lost during the war, I lost my dreams as well. I had to work hard and help my mom and support to be a shoulder for her to rely on.
در اون دوران من مصروف و روزای من با کار، تمرین و درس میگذراندم. به خاطر امنیت بدی که کابل داشت مصروف تمرین رزمی کیک بوکسینگ بودم که در او 5 مسابقه داریم و 4 برد 1 باخت دارم.
Due to the insecurities in the Kabul, even at that time I was juggling between school, work and martial art training, which I was doing kickboxing, and I competed in 5 competitions, which I won 4 and I lost in 1.
اما زمانی که شانه‌ام شکست مجبور شدم که با اون مسیر خداحافظی کنم.
But when I broke my shoulder, I had to say goodbye to that journey.
در اون زمانایی که من خیلی ناامید بودم یک ویدیو از یک بچه افغان به نام جواد 13 دیدم که داشت روی سرش چرخ میخورد و خیلی توجه مرا به خودش جلب کرد، مثل که یک امید و یا یک انگیزه در وجود من پیدا شد.
During those dark days, I was going through social media and I saw a video of an Afghan guy who's called Jawad 13, and he was spinning on his head, and I saw that video and I thought that something has lit up inside me.
در اول فکر میکردم که شاید ایدیت شده باشه یا فیلتر باشه، اما بعد از کمی جستجو من آدرس کلاب پیدا کردم و رفتم که همراهشون صحبت کنم تا بیشتر درباره از رشته معلومات پیدا کنم.
When I saw the video, I thought it's a filter or it could be fake. But then I researched and I found out that there's something called as breakdancing. And then I went on it, I searched it, and I found this guy.
اما وقت داخل کلاب شدم چیزی را که دیدم خیلی برای من جالب بود. من یک عالم از بچه‌ها دیدم ولی هیچ دختری در اونجا نبود.
But when I got into the club, something shocked me because there was a bunch of guys but no women, and I was surprised.
در اول فکر کردم که شاید تایمشون جداگانه باشه، ولی وقتی همراهشون صحبت کردم برای من گفتن که متاسفانه هیچ دختری ندارن، به خاطر که قبلا بودن ولی به خاطر تهدیدها، موانع و گپ‌های مردم دیگه نتونستن ادامه بدن.
At the beginning, I thought that maybe the girls have another time to come, like there is only girls' time. But then they said no, there is no other girls' time. There were some girls, but they left and they stopped because of the insecurity, because of the security, because of the threats, and because of the bullying of the people and their relatives. So they left.
در اون قسمت بود که با خودم عهد بسته کردم هر طور شده من کوشش میکنم تا بتونم به خودم در جایگاه برسانم که برای مردم ثابت کنم این یک رشته ورزشی است نه رقص.
And then I vowed to myself to make people understand that this is a sport, not a dance, and I will not stop it.
ولی در اون زمان من اصلا معلومات نداشتم که بریکینگ دقیقاً چی هست و آیا در مسابقات المپیکی خواهد بود یا نه، ولی این تصمیم در خودم داشتم و بزرگترین رویای من در اون زمان بود.
But I didn't know anything about breakdancing, so I started searching on it, and I didn't even know that it's a sport in the Olympics. So that became a big dream of my life.
ولی این راه خیلی هم ساده نبود، با تهدیدها، موانع از خاله، ماما، همسایه ها، فضای مجازی همه جا تهدید و موانع خیلی زیاد بود.
And this journey was not easy for me because I was getting threats from my uncle, from my aunt, family, relatives, and to people on social media that they were bullying me.
ولی فکر میکنم من یک آدم خیلی خوشبخت هستم به خاطر که بزرگترین حامی من مادرم هست و او همیشه با گپ‌های مردم مبارزه میکرد و من همیشه با تهدیدها مبارزه میکردم.
But I think I'm very lucky because I had my mom as my supporter because she was always fighting the people's bullying and threats and I was fighting for my rights.
به همین خاطرم تخلص من تبدیل کردم به تلاش به خاطر که بتونم از فامیلم محافظت کنم و در اصل تخلص من چیزی دیگه هست.
In order, and just for that, I also changed my last name, which is Talosh. It means hard work in Persian language, Persian Dari, it means hard work. So for that, I changed my language to also keep my family safe so they don't know their real last name and also to show what I'm really fighting for.
و در کنار مادرم تیم سوپر اسکرو بود که مرا همیشه حمایت میکردن چون قبل از سوپر اسکرو وقتی که من در هر جای میرفتم برای من گفتم میشه که تو دختر هستی کار انجام دادن نمیتونی. حتی از خانم ها من این گپا را میشنیدم که برای من میگفتن تو دختر هستی برای تو سخت خواد بود یا تو انجام دادن نمیتونی. ولی تیم سوپر اسکرو همیشه مرا حمایت کردن و فکر میکنم فعلا که اینجا هستم به خاطر همین هست.
After my mom, there was superior team that they supported me and they were the one to stand behind me and protect me from the bullyings. I was bullied even by women telling me that that's not the right thing that you do, but they were the ones who supported me after my mom and protected me.
Thank you for sharing all of that story. I didn't know half of it, so I'm learning a lot here today as well. Now I want to hear a bit more about the journey of the different places you've lived in. You were in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Spain, France. How's it been to be able to adapt to the people's context while also maintaining your own culture in these places?
در اول باید بگویم که من هیچ وقت درباره ترک افغانستان فکر نکرده بودم حتی به خاطر تعطیلات به خاطر همین من تا حالا پاسپورت افغانی ندارم.
I would like to say that I have never thought about leaving Afghanistan, not for vacation nor for living, and that's the reason that I don't have my own Afghan passport.
در سال 2021 وقتی که طالبان تصرف کابل به دست گرفتن من بین ماندن و مردن و رفتن و ساختن مانده بودم که من دومی را انتخاب کردم.
On August 2021, when Afghanistan collapsed to the Taliban, I was stuck between two options, staying or dying, leaving or making, and I chose the second one.
استادم بیبای مس به همه ما پیام داد و گفت که تصمیمتان چی هست؟ چه پلان دارین؟ آیا میخواین اینجا باشین و بمرین یا میخواین برین و برای آینده تان کاری کنین؟
Then I received a message from our team leader, our teacher, who told us, do you want to stay and die, or do you want to go and make something for yourself and for your life?
پس تمام تیم تصمیم گرفتن که از افغانستان خارج شویم تا کاری برای خود ما و اگر بتونیم برای فامیل و اگر بتونیم برای دوستان ما انجام بدیم.
So the whole team decided to leave together Afghanistan and make a life for ourselves and our family and our friends.
کشور اول که رفتم پاکستان بود. فکر میکنم سخت‌ترین قسمت زندگی من در اونجا بود. برای بار اول جدا از مادر، جدا از وطن، بدون آدمایی که بشناسیشون، بدون زبانی که با اونا صحبت بتونی و یک بچه 12 ساله.
The first country I went to go on was Pakistan. It's a neighboring country of Afghanistan. And that was a new place for me. I didn't know how to find myself. I didn't know the culture. I didn't know the language. I was missing home. I was homesick. And I was alone with my 12-year-old brother.
در کنار ای که من از خودم باید مواظبت میکردم و قوی میبودم باید از برادر ما مواظبت میکردم و به او هم مادری میکردم که ای کار مرا سخت‌تر میکرد.
When I was in Pakistan, when I was taking care of myself, my job became harder because I had to take care of my own brother as well and to become a mother for him. So that made the job and my life more difficult in Pakistan.
کوشش میکنم زیادتر وقتها خاطرات را که در پاکستان داشتم فراموش کنم، چون سخت‌ترین قسمت زندگی ما بوده و حتی یادآوریشان برای من دردناک است.
My life in Pakistan was the hardest part of my life and my journey, and sometimes I wish I could forget those memories and erase them all.
اما وقت اسپانیا رسیدم همه چیز فرق میکرد.
And when I arrived in Spain, everything changed.
بعد از افغانستان بالاخره جایی بود که من میتونستم در او قانونی زندگی کنم و آزادانه کاری را که میخوایم انجام بدم.
After Afghanistan, that was the country that I could live there legally and do whatever I want to do.
درست است که به خاطر افغانستان و وطنم ناراحت بودم و حالم خوب نبود، اما روزای خوبی هم داشتم و مردم اسپانیا خیلی مردمای صمیمی و مهربان هستند.
I know that I love my country, I had good memories, and it was difficult for me to forget the tragedy of leaving Afghanistan. But the people of Spain, they were very warm and welcoming people, and I made very good memories.
چون دوستان خیلی زیادی دارم و فکر میکنم که همین مهربانی و صمیمیت مردم اسپانیا باعث شد که من خیلی زود خودم سازگار بتونم.
Because of the behavior of people of Spain and my friends in Spain, I think that's the reason that I could find myself and integrate myself quickly.
در ذهنم آدمای خیلی زیادی هست، اما کسی را که میخوایم درباره حرف بزنم یک شخص به نام اینیاکی هست که یک استودیوی دنس داشت و وقت خبر شد که ما یک مهاجر هستیم و میخوایم به تمرینات ما ادامه بدیم، بدون ای که ما را بشناسه کلید کلابش بر ما داد که بتونیم اونجا تمرین کنه.
I have a lot of people in my mind to talk about, but there's one specific person that I want to talk about. Him is Iñaki, who was someone who was owning a dance studio, and without hesitating, he gave us the key of his studio for us to start dancing and practicing.
و این خیلی برای من جالب بود چطور یک آدم میتونه اینقدر زود به شخص اعتماد کنه در حالی که ما در یک زبان با هم صحبت نمیتونیم و از یک کشور نیستیم و امیدوار هستم که یک روز بتونم این مهربانیش برای جبران کنم.
It was kind of surprising for me. How come someone who doesn't speak the same language as us, who doesn't share the culture, who doesn't know us, can trust us and give us the key? And I really want to give him back one day what he did for us.
فکر میکنم اسپانیا خانه دومم است به خاطر شباهت‌های زیادی که مردم اسپانیا با مردم افغانستان دارن.
I feel like Spain is my second home because we have a lot of similarities with Afghan people and Spain people.
اما فرانسه اینجا به خاطر آمدم که بتونم دانشگاه طراحی لباس بخوانم و در کنارش مردم فرانسه خیلی آدم‌های حمایتگر هستن، خصوصا از کسایی که به خاطر زنان مبارزه میکنن.
But then in France, I came to participate in Olympics and also study my dream subject, fashion design. And the reason I came is that people in France are the biggest supporter of human rights and people who seek freedom.
پس گفتم میتونم که آدم‌ها از هر لحظه زندگیشان میتونن خیلی چیزها را یاد بگیرن که من تونستم از پاکستان ای که چطور با درد مبارزه کنی را یاد گرفتم. در اسپانیا چطور بتونی خودت بشناسی و چطور خودت سازگار بسازی و در فرانسه ای را یاد میگیرم که چطور بتونم در کنار خودم از بقیه مردم هم حمایت کنم.
So totally in life, it's always about learning something. When I was in Pakistan, I learned how to fight for my pains. I learned how to fight with my struggles. In Spain, I learned how to integrate. And in France, I learned how to support people and how to give back.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I can see people cheering as well. Now let's talk about the Olympics. That's the reason you came to France. You made news around the world by taking a stance and wearing that burqa with wings and those words on it. How did you come up with this idea? And what was it like to live through both the praise and the backlash of that moment?
خب این هم برای خودش یک داستان خیلی طولانی است. دوست دارم که از اول شروع کنم.
So this itself has a very big long story and I would like to start from beginning.
اما قسم که گفتم رویای المپیک از روز اولی که ما در کلاب رفتم به سرم زد و بزرگترین رویای ما بود.
As I said, going to Olympics was my first and biggest dream when I stepped into the dance club.
و به خاطرش سختی‌های خیلی زیادی دیدم
And I went through a lot of struggles for that.
و بعضی روزا حتی فکر میکردم که شاید امروز روز آخری باشه که من زندگی میکنم، ولی چون در اون وقت قتل‌های هدفمند خیلی زیاد شده بود.
And there was a time in my life that I was thinking it's going to be the last day of my life because there was a lot of hopeless in my heart.
با خودم میگفتم میترسیدم، ولی با خودم میگفتم که اگر قرار است بمرم بهتر است که با لباس تر از عرق تمرین بمرم، نه دیگه که در ترس در خانه باشم.
But I said to myself, if I die, I would like to die in my sweating t-shirt, dancing and practicing while being in fear at my home.
وقتی به اسپانیا رسیدم فکر میکردم که نزدیک شدم به رویایم، اما زمانی نگذشت که مجبور شدم کار کنم تا به فامیلم پول روان کنم، به خاطر که مادرم یک آرایشگر است و به خاطر قانون طالبان نمیتونست دیگه کار کنه.
When I arrived in Spain, I thought that I getting close to my dream, but little did I know that the beauty salons were closed in Afghanistan and my mom was a hairdresser, so she could not work, and I had to start working in Spain.
روزا مصروف تمرین بودم، ولی شبها دلم تنگ تمرین بود و هرچی به المپیک نزدیکتر می شدم من ناامیدتر می شدم.
During the days I was practicing and during the nights I was missing my practicing because I was working, and we were getting closer to Olympics and I was getting more hopeless because I was thinking maybe I will not be able to make it.
تا اینکه یک روز بین تمام ناامیدی ها یک ایمیل برام آمد که تمام زندگی مرا تغییر داد. چشمایم پر اشک شده بود و فکر میکردم که بالاخره جهان صدای من شنیده.
And then one day I received an email that changed my whole life, and I was crying and I thought that finally the world hurt me, and that was the email I received from Olympics.
یکی از دوستای دوستم به نام ایزابل گوارکو که یک مستندساز است و فعلا درباره زندگی من که در دوران المپیک بود یک مستند میسازه.
One of my friends who's called Isabel Guarco, she is making a documentary about my life in Olympics.
او یک ایمیل برای کمیته بین المللی المپیک روان کرد و درباره من براشان گفت.
She sent an email to International Committee of Olympics and told them about me, and
و اونا هم خیلی زود جواب دادن و این شد که من تصمیم گرفتم که هر چه عاجل باید تمرینات من دوباره از سر شروع کنم.
they replied and I decided that I should just start my practicing right now.
ولی وقتی که به خاطر مسابقات المپیکی تمرین میکردم باید خوشحال می بودم، اما به دلایل نمیتونستم و خوشحالی را در خودم ببینم.
When I was practicing for the Olympics, I was thinking that I should be so happy, but for some reason I didn't have that happiness.
با خودم میگفتم چطور من میتونم خوشحال باشم و زندگی من انجام بدم در حالی که همسن و سالایم نمیتونن حتی نفس بکشن آزادانه.
I was thinking with myself, how can I be happy and enjoy this while I know that people, women of my country, the same age as me, they're not even allowed to breathe.
چطور خودم یک آرتیست بدانم وقتی که زنان کشورم حتی اجازه کار ندارن.
How can I call myself an artist while I know that women of my country are not allowed to work and study?
پس درباره این فکر میکردم که در اون یک دقیقه که مطمئن هستم چشم همه جهان به من است، چی چیز مهمتر از رویای من هست.
So I was thinking, what is the most important thing for me in that some minutes that I have in Olympics? My dreams or my country's dream?
پس تصمیم گرفتم کار با ارزش‌تر از رویای خودم انجام بدم.
So I decided to do something more valuable than my own dreams.
او بالها از دل درد به وجود آمدن. تمام عمرم برای من گفتم میشد که چی نباشم، کجا نرم، چی کار نکنم، چی نپوشم.
Those wings came from my own pain. The whole life I was hearing from people, what should I do, what I should not do, what should I wear, what I should not wear.
او بالها چیزی بود که بدون حتی یک کلمه فریاد دل مرا میزد.
Those wings were something that they were screaming my pain.
او بالها در خیلی جاها نشانه محدودیت ها هست، ولی من از او استفاده کردم که نشان میتم حتی در سنگین ترین پوشش ها هم نمیتونن پرواز را متوقف کنن.
Those wings were a sign for me to show that you will never be able to stop us from flying.
که بگویم حتی از دل سنگین ترین تاریکی ها هم میشه پرواز کرد.
That you can fly over the darkest night with those wings.
3 کلمه روی او بال نوشته کردم: زن، زندگی، آزادی.
I wrote 3 words on that wing.
Never
Woman, life, freedom.
نه برای سیاست، بلکه برای نجات، بلکه برای فریاد زدن، بلکه برای امید، برای نجات دادن.
Not about politics, but to save, to protect, and to fly.
برای آن که بگویم ما کی هستیم، حتی اگر جهان صدای ما را نشنود.
For that, who we are, even if the world doesn't want to listen to us.
ولی این امید خیلی زود نگذشت که تبدیل به یک درد تازه شد.
But this became a new pain for me. This hope became a new pain for me.
رد صلاحیتم از المپیک پاریس
That I was stopped to play on Olympics.
که عمیقاً ناعادلانه و تبعیض آمیز بود.
Which it was truly racist and not fair.
باور ندارم که اگر ورزشکار شناخته شده بودم یا صاحب نام بودم چنین اتفاقی برام هم افتاد.
I believe if it was a recognized athlete, this wouldn't have happened to me.
اما به عنوان یک زن جوان پناهنده که نمیتواند به زبان انگلیسی یا فرانسوی درست صحبت کنه،
But as a woman who is a refugee and who cannot speak neither English, French, or Spanish,
به راحتی نادیده گرفته شدم.
I was easily ignored.
پیام من درباره حقوق زنان، افغان و برابری جنسیتی بود.
My message was about gender apartheid, women, and freedom.
همان ارزش هایی که کمیته بین المللی المپیک ادعا میکنه از آنها دفاع میکنه.
The same values that Olympic Committee claim that they are supporting and protecting.
مصمم هستم که این ماجرا به پاسخ نماند. با حمایت وکلای آوانگارد در حال بررسی مسیرهای قانونی برای این چالش هستم.
I hope that they take care of this and they want to do something about it.
و این رد صلاحیت پیگیری میکنم و منتظر جبران آن هستم.
And I will go for it and I will not give up the reason that they took out my responsibility as being an athlete in Olympics.
میرسیم در باره بعد المپیک اتفاقای افتاد و مطمئن هستم خیلی ها درباره از این نمیفهمن.
And I want to talk about what happened after Olympics, and I'm sure a lot of people doesn't know about it.
Sorry. Okay, I'm okay. اگر بخوایم رو راست باشم بعد از مسابقات المپیکی اصلا حالت روحی خوبی ندارم.
If I want to be true, I am not doing mentally well after the Olympics.
حتی دیگر نمیتونم که Thank you. ادامه میتونم اشکال نداره. بعد از مسابقات المپیکی اصلا حالت روحی خوبی ندارم و حتی دیگر نمیتونم بریکینگ تمرین کنم.
After the Olympics, I am not mentally well and I am not able to do my breakdancing practices.
او بریکینگ که قبلا برای من انرژی میداد و مرا از مشکلات دور میکرد.
The same sport that was giving me hope and was taking away my feelings from being hopeless.
فعلا برعکس شده و برای من استرس میده، برای من فشار و درد که در اون لحظه المپیک داشتم برای من یادآوری میکنه.
Now it's the other way around and it's giving me pain and it's bringing me back the trauma that I had from Olympics.
خیلی مدت زیاد میشه که من در استراحت هستم و کوشش میکنم دوباره خودم از سر پا کنم.
It's been a long time that I'm just on a sleeping mood and I'm trying to get myself back.
و فکر میکنم چیزی که مرا تونست سر پا کنه حمایت مردم است و صحبت هایی که من از اونها میشنوم.
And the only thing that keep me going is the support I get from people and the words that they share always with me.
قول میتونم که به زودترین فرصت دوباره خودم به جایی که بودم برسانم و به هدفهایی که میخوایم برسانم.
I'll promise that I'll get myself to where I was believing, where I was in, and I'll go even higher and bigger.
تشکری میکنم از اینکه امروز اینجا حضور داره.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Manija. And I can see some people standing as well. I think it's very well deserved. And thank you for being so honest and open with us. I know it's not easy to have to share so vulnerably with us. So thank you. And I think I can speak for everyone that's here and maybe doesn't have a mic, but we're standing behind you and we're here to support you too. And I want to end with one question to you on what's next. I know you said it's not been easy, but you are planning big things for the rest of the year as well. So can you share a little bit with us about what's coming up?
درست است که صحبت کردن و روایت کردن بخشی از مبارزه هست، ولی من به این باور هستم که راه و روش هر کسی فرق میکنه، خصوصا برای من که من بیشتر از صحبت دوست دارم عمل کنم.
It's true that speaking up is very important, but for me, taking action is way more important than just speaking.
راه من فقط گفتگو نیست. من میخوایم هنر، خلاقیت و قدرت دختران افغانستان را به گوش جهان برسانم.
I wanna bring up Afghan women's art skills on international stages.
برای من حرکت یعنی حرف زدن بی کلمه، بریکینگ یعنی مقاومت بی سلاح.
For me, speaking is movement and breaking is not stopping.
و هنر یعنی راهی برای زنده ماندن وقتی همه چیز علیه توست.
And art is a way to live when everything is dead for you.
پلان‌های زیادی دارم. از همون روز که وارد کلاب شدم فقط با رویا زندگی نکردم. یاد گرفتم که رویا کافی نیست. باید تبدیلشان کنی به هدف و بعد برشان پلان بسازی.
I have a lot of plans and I know that plans is not just enough. You have to make goals and steps to get to your dreams and plans.
تا ماه اگست خیلی از این پلان‌ها قرار است که عملی شوند و خیلی هیجان زده هستم که بتونم با مردم درباره‌شان صحبت کنم.
Until August 2025, most of my plans are going to come out and I'm very excited to talk about them with all of you.
چون باور دارم وقتی قصه میکنی نه فقط همراه پیدا میکنی بلکه قصه هم شنیده خواهد شد.
Because I know that I will not just get supported, but I will be heard.
و من تنها نیستم چون نمیخوایم تنها باشم، چون میخوایم دختران افغانستان را با همه مردم یک جای کمک کنم.
I'm not alone and I don't want to be alone because I want to have Afghan women with me and bring them on international stages.
میخوایم برای دخترای افغانستان یک سکوی پرواز بسازم.
I want to make a flying wings for Afghan women.
امیدوار هستم با حمایت مردم، با قلب‌هایی که باز هستند و دستایی که آماده کمک هستند بتونم سهم کوچکی از این ماجرا باشم.
And I'm hoping with the people's support I get to this destination and be a little part of it.
و با هم کاری کنیم که این مبارزه فقط قصه از درد نباشه بلکه تبدیل بشه به روایت از امید، ایستادگی و نور.
And together it does not be just a support, but also it will be a story of resilience and hope.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Manija. Thank you, Sumaya, as well. I think we can end with a standing ovation. This was fantastic. Thank you so much.